Good evening, and welcome once again to 15 Minutes with Sebastian. In the mornings, I like to start the day by listening to Dave Berry's breakfast show on Absolute Radio. And this morning, whilst I listened, I had the most marvellous idea, the details of which are these. Why not attempt to drum up some more listeners to this channel by sending the extremely talented Mr. Berry and the team the link to this very broadcast? And why this particular episode? Because, listeners, tonight's episode contains my tribute to a band that I've heard Mr. Berry is also a huge fan of. So, sit back and enjoy this. Good evening, and welcome once again to Sebastian Presley's 3-Minute Musical Heroes. Tonight, my musical spotlight falls upon German electronic band ELEKTRONISCH, formed in West Berlin in early 1970 by Klaus Meyer and Siggi Schumacher. ELEKTRONISCH were experimenting with the new electro sound at the same time as Kraftwerk. And though Kraftwerk are considered the innovators and pioneers of this genre, one should not forget ELEKTRONISCH. In fact, let's remind ourselves of their first single, Digital Ice Cream.
Digital ice cream is giving me brain freeze, forcing a downward. It's digital ice cream. It's making me crazy. Corrupting my data, infecting my system. It's digital ice cream. Digital ice cream. Digital ice cream. Yeah. Digital ice cream. Yeah. It's digital ice cream.
And though they never achieved the commercial success that Kraftwerk did, they continued to push the boundaries of this musical genre, such as with their 1973 album, Code 66, from which this single rode the charts, but never quite made the top 20.
I come from fire, I come from fire. I come from rain, I come from rain. I come from anger, I come from anger. Lost in the pain, lost in the pain. I am emotion, I am emotion. I am fear, I am fear. Do you believe in me like I believe in you? Do you believe in me like I believe in you? Fire, rain, anger, anger. In the rain, fire, fire.
They continued making music with the same lineup of members until 1985, when scandal hit the band and founding member Siggy Schumacher was implicated in drug trafficking and eventually sentenced and imprisoned. But this didn't stop ELEKTRONISCH, and with a world tour announced, they found a last-minute replacement for Siggy with English keyboard player Edward Lambert, or as he referred to himself, the Techno Wizard. Lambert had joined ELEKTRONISCH after his own band, Late Night in Lambeth, had disbanded due to musical differences. But with new blood came a darker sound for ELEKTRONISCH.
When tears begin, I can see everything. Open your eyes, come look with me. Come look with me at everything, the darkness and the light. The darkness and the light. The darkness and the light.
For me, ELEKTRONISCH are the very embodiment of creativity and are right up there with the likes of Vincent Sombrero. But ELEKTRONISCH are not just a band from the past. Oh no, they are still making music and still pushing the boundaries of pop. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, Dave. Now, did you know the last time the BADGERMEN were known to have interacted with North Compass folk was back in AD 61? And although most accounts are mere local tales, there is one official entry, written by a scribe serving Legatus Maximus Flavius in the city of Nord Busoma, later, of course, renamed Hodge, who wrote this. The survivors said that the warriors emerged from the ground and were as fierce as their legend describes. And though this first encounter went badly for the Legatus, he has vowed to search them out and employ them as mercenary force. But I fear he intends them simply as a means to direct his own political agenda in the area. And how do we know that Roman author was talking about the legendary BADGERMEN? Because he refers to these underground dwellers as Il Tasso Omini, which of course is Italian for the BADGERMEN.
street light shining. I'm a white light bright and bright and burning off and on. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. I'm a new day rising. I'm a brand new sky that hangs the stars upon tonight. I'm a little divided. Do I say or run away and leave it all behind? It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again.
Simply marvelous. That was, of course, the Sofa Sessions, playing their version of Times Like These, originally recorded by the Foo Fighters and released in 2002. Incidentally, the music playing in the background at the moment is that of James Norris, guitarist from the band Thunder from the West, and one-time writing partner to The Believer. And if you want to hear more about James, then do look out for a future episode of Sebastian Presley's 3-minute musical heroes. Well, that's about all we have time for on this episode, but before I forget, do be sure to tune in to the Sofa Sessions Christmas special, where I shall be in full festive spirit, even though Christmas is still several weeks away. Which is another thing. Why is everybody making such a fuss about Christmas? I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, but personally, I see this as an opportunity. This year I won't have to enjoy the annual visitation of my sister Gladys and her brood of younglings. Anyway, tune in next time, chums, for 15 minutes with Sebastian.